What's going on, everybody? Holden here, bringing you guys another VOD review slash analysis of the Madden Challenge Live Finals. This was the semifinal match between Beast Mode Mac and Millz, and I thought it was a really cool game, so decided to go ahead and break it down. So get right into it. Millz on offense, Green Bay. Beast Mode Mac on defense with Kansas City. You see Beast Mode Mac in a nickel normal look, pinch linebackers. Millz comes out, gun tight off, set tight end, flipped. I believe the player cameras are in the way. I believe that Mac has his nickel corner on the right, so he's running it flipped. And so Millz flipped his offense as well to have the running back on the left side away from the blitzing corner, which we'll see why as the game unravels. So let's go ahead and get into it. First play, you see Millz runs 0-1 trap, and that's something that I didn't even think about when playing online. I never ran into it, but basically 0-1 trap isn't that great of a run, like just by itself, but as you can see right here, against the really meta defense that everybody likes to run with the nickel normal, and everybody runs the same setup, pinch your line. Some people pinch the backer, some people move them right, move them left. Obviously right here Mac's pinching, and he's pinching his line and linebackers. But the 0-1 trap does really well against that. It's able to pick up the blocks really easily. It's a favorable run against the alignment that a lot of people like to run. And so Millz was definitely having a lot of success with that 0-1 trap throughout the tournament. And I think that's why, personally, whenever I run into tight offset tight end online, I get out of nickel. I don't get out of nickel, but I don't run the pinch line anymore because it's really difficult. Because you have to worry about not only the inside zone, but now you have to worry about the 0-1 trap right there. Millz ran bench, and you see Mac was in buck slant. So you have to worry about 0-1 trap, you have to worry about inside zone, you have to worry about bench, so you have to have, hard, flat, soft squat on the outside if you're nickel normal, if you're nickel blitz. You have to have defense for the seam streaks up the middle, the high point streaks. You have to worry about the Z spot play with the C route. There's so much stuff you have to worry about. It's really hard to worry about all the different passing plays, as well as having to worry about getting hit with the inside zone, which I think is the best gun run play in the game. And then now you have to worry about inside 0-1 trap. So right here you see 4th and 5. Mac did a good job of slowing down. He blew up the 0-1 trap in the backfield one time, got Millz into a 4th and medium. So right here you see Mac for the first time all game comes out in a big dime look, probably a slant zone 2. Millz running out of time on the play clock, so he calls timeout. So then, interesting adjustment. Millz comes out, same offense, tight offset tight end, and Mac goes away from the slant zone 2 look, comes back to his nickel normal look. Can feel a little more comfortable with it now that he knows that McCoy doesn't have the threat of running that 0-1 trap. So he comes out in it. Something to note, he's not base aligned. So that's something that kind of tips to me he might be sending a corner blitz off that right edge, because a lot of people, if they don't base align, it means they're not sending that nickel blitz, that corner. So a lot of times what they'll do in that case is they'll send the other corner, the one on the right, isolated out to the side, that corner right there. So just something to keep in mind as the play unfolds. And that's exactly what he did. He actually sent it off both sides, and Millz made a really good read to the kind of pseudo wheel slash fade route to the B receiver. So comes back out. Mac's still in this nickel normal. Millz flips his offense to get McCoy away from this nickel back right here. So he wants McCoy running to the side that's not by the nickel back, so that he can't get in the backfield and blow it up like that. So really smart adjustment by Millz to see that. Right there, Matt gets a block shed. Millz still picks up 2 yards. So obviously you can still get block sheds. As you can see, Matt comes out cover 4, which is a very heavy run style defense this year because of the way the safeties play the run fits. The safeties play run first, so they'll crash inside the box much quicker than they will out of, say, like a cover 2 shell. So right here, Matt goes 3-man rush. Millz, and kind of the first awkward pass play of the game, kind of forces that C route right there. So if you look at this, Mac actually only rushes 3, doesn't send a blitz. So there's 3-man rush here. Mac's defensive end gets a block shed. This defensive end right here gets off his block. But something you have to look at is, so he knows what plays he's running. He knows he's going to get the C route cutting right there. Millz actually missed the read. The read was to throw it to this corner route. You can throw a down outside pass lead to this corner route, and this guy would come back and cut off the ball to where this guy couldn't make a play on it right there. But the other read was Mac over pursued just a tad bit with his user defender right here. So on this slant route by the X receiver. So as you can see when the play unravels, Mac over pursues a little bit, and he could have, if I'm not sure if Millz would have had enough time. It might have been close. He obviously can't make this throw running across his body, but he could have set his feet and thrown it to that slant route right as he cut across Mac's face. Instead, obviously, if you don't make that read, I think you have to just throw the ball away here. He forced a pretty sketchy C route. And you can see right here, this is what makes this play so ridiculous. Mac actually he has 2 defenders right here. Mac actually had a hard flat and a cloud flat on this left side, and this C route still gets behind the cloud flat. The cloud flat still doesn't play it. So it's not getting played by a cloud flat, and it's cutting. Obviously, if Mac was able to stop, set his feet, and throw the ball here, this would have been a dot to the wide receiver. But instead, he throws it on the run, pretty sketchy, almost gets picked off. So I would have thrown the ball away there. Obviously, heat of the moment. Actually, who knows what I would have done if I was playing on this stage. So 3rd and 8, Millz goes to 0-1 trap, really likes that run, picks up 8, so 4th and inches, 4th and 1 here. So Millz goes no huddle, he likes what he sees, he's got Mac in that nickel normal pinch defense. I don't think he would, personally, what I would think right now if I were Mac, I would probably be playing the 0-1 trap here, just because Millz has shown the tendency to run that play, any down, any distance. Now, if Millz went with a motion here, I would not expect the 0-1 trap. And, okay, Millz just takes the delay game, so he's going to kick a field goal. So Millz goes up 3-0. And Millz' defense is really what I wanted to look at this game. So right here, Millz plays a really interesting defense. I think Mac quick snacks him on the first play. But what Millz will do, he runs the nickel normal. You see the pinch line. He'll shift his linebackers to the side that the nickel corner's not at. So right here he's in nickel blitz flip. So he's got the slot corner out here. He shifts his linebackers to put this linebacker on the line of scrimmage to the outside. A lot of time what he'll do is he'll send 6. He'll just send both of the guys on the outside, make a quick read. He's user in the middle, and he'll actually bring down these safeties into the box so that if you're in a compressed set, you actually can't throw the high pointed seams because the safeties are already in position to make a play on it. And so as the user, he's able to just jump any routes over the middle. If he thinks you're going to throw a hot read to the flat, he might jump that. Really good adaptation, and it really, the biggest thing is bringing the safeties into the box because that was the hardest part. If you send 6, you have to worry about the high pointed seams. Obviously, out of this formation, Mac's not in a good formation to take advantage of that. Shotgun 2-back, but something like bunch, something like tight offset, something like snugs, all that you have to worry about the high pointed seam routes. So that adaptation was really smart and something you'll probably see a lot more people doing in the future. Mac goes with the halfback power O, which is usually a good run against that nickel blitz setup where you pinch your line. Those shotgun 2-back power O's, especially out of like that split offset or split close, are 2 popular run plays. Right here, Mac in gun bunch, and you see just what I was talking about. Millz brings this safety up. This safety is also brought up a little bit, not as far up because he's probably not. He's more worried about getting beat deep on this left side by the bunch than the right side, more than likely. A lot of people won't streak that right side receiver that's off the screen to the right. Millz might even have him manned up. I'm not sure, but there's that adjustment, and Millz will hover the center like he's doing right now with that middle linebacker. And as you see, snap the ball. Millz sends 6. Right here, Millz actually goes not nickel blitz. He actually ran, it looks like overload blitz or overstorm brave, but he was in a man-to-man, and he just wasn't in a good alignment to pick up that drag route. Harrison Smith not fast enough to stick with Stephon Diggs. So Matt gets a huge game over the sideline. So right here, once again, as you can see, I'm going to keep pointing it out, or this might be the last time I point it out, but Millz bringing the safeties in, really protects against, granted Mac doesn't have the best personnel. He can high point to Clive Walford, but you're not really worried about him high pointing to Stephon Diggs. So, but still, that takes away that quick seam streak read when he blitzes 6, and so Millz is able to jump anything over the middle. So once again, send 6. Mac tries to run the draw, kind of gets block shedded on, still picks up 2, or picks up 1, which against Millz' style of defense, you're not really going to have a lot of success running draws. It's just him sending 6 almost every play. Right here, he actually only sends 4, it looked like, and Mac was still able to hit that drag. So Millz really needs to make an adjustment. He either needs to man up Stephon Diggs whenever Mac comes out in gun bunch, or he needs to have a hard flat out there, one of the two. And when you man him up, you have to cross man him. He needs to cross man Stephon Diggs or get a hard flat out there. So Mac comes out running the ball, red zone, really hard to score. I twin tight end here. Millz still in nickel. And another kind of flub from this time Mac in the red zone. Last time it was Millz throwing that corner route off balance. Right here, Mac throws this. He actually would have had it, but as you can see right here, he had a clean pocket. I think he might have just panicked a little bit, and he threw it off his back foot. If he was just sitting still in the pocket, this is probably a touchdown. But him throwing it off the back foot, the ball hung in the air for a little longer than it should have. And it almost actually ended up being a pick. So right here, Matt comes out, gun bunch, Millz still nickel normal. Right here, personally, I would think that Millz isn't going to send 6. You know, red zone, condensed field, it's really hard to score. I would send 3 off one side and probably drop 8 in the coverage and make him dot me, rather than give him the choice of like making a super quick read or something. And that's what he does. He sends him off the side. And it looked like Mac ran corner strike, hit Crowell out the backfield on the table route. So 4th and 1 right here. Mac goal line, Millz comes out, looks like the blitz C setup maybe. Pinch line. This is going to blow up the QB sneak. Not that Mac would be looking to QB sneak it on 4th and 1. And this is pretty much a 50-50 in my experience, and Mac gets it right there. So as you can see, I mean, if I pause it right here, one block shed, or if Millz would have shot that gap just a tad bit better, you know, that's blown up in the backfield. So it's kind of a 50-50 right there. Millz didn't get any block sheds. Mac got up the field. So Mac gets in the end zone. So Millz coming back on offense. Still tight offside tight end. Mac, same look on defense. Pinching line, pinching backers. As you see, still plenty of room for that 0-1 trap. Picks up 7 right there. McCoy. Right here. Hits a seam streak. Mac looked like he sent 5 right there. Yeah, he sent 5, and what happened was, it looked like he might be in cover 4 here. Yeah, it looks like he's in cover 4. As you can see, these guys are dropping. Or no, this was definitely buck slant. Yeah, this is definitely buck slant 3. So he's got the 3 shell. This safety right here is probably in like a seam flat or cloud flat maybe. And then he manned up this linebacker on this receiver, so he's chasing him. And Mac was forced to use the right side, so easy read for Millz right here up the seam. So just good read by Millz. Can't guard everything. Comes back 0-1 trap. As you can see, just oodles of yardage for that 0-1 trap. He could honestly run it almost every play if he wanted to. And until Mac gets out of this nickel normal look. And finally Mac does. He comes out. This looks like it's probably $1 or 3-4. I can't tell if there's a corners on the outside. Millz tries to go back to 0-1 trap, and as you can see, it gets blown up. So 0-1 trap, not a great run play on its own, but it's great because of what people run on defense. Because of that nickel normal, it can be a great run play. And right here, Millz makes a bad read. So he gets his 0-1 trap blown up. I don't know if he got flustered. He saw Mac in this defense. I think it is 3-4 here. So maybe he thought he could sneak Mac with a pass play. He runs PA post. He runs the standard setup where you drag the tight end Um, Really, what he needed to do was he needed to read the left side because Mac's in cover 4 here. As you can see, the 4 deep zones right there. What happens is I think Mac manned up the drag route, but I think he might have had a hard flat out here as well. So he's got the drag manned up, a hard flat. He needed to throw it to this C route on the outside right here. This X receiver breaking out. He needed to throw it because he would have been above the hard flat and below the corner. Millz is lurking in the middle. You pretty much can't look at any middle routes unless Mac makes a mistake. And he is kind of under pressure, but as you can see right here, he is getting box shed. But as you see, this X receiver's open if you throw it. And even right here, obviously, I think he already started throwing it, so he couldn't throw it to B at this point in time. But Mac did a really good job of using the short and then breaking off to the deep. And Millz got baited, and that's the name of the game. So huge play for Mac there. So Mac comes out, gun bunch, right. Millz still in that nickel. Blitzes, looks like 5 right there. Mac runs a draw, picks up 4. So once again, gun bunch, nickel. Millz shifting his linebackers to the middle now, so he's not giving that send 6 look anymore. He sends 3 off the right, and Mac makes a great read over the middle. So it's a cat and mouse game right now at this point. Millz trying to mix up his defense. Mac doing a really good job of, identifying weak spots and throwing to open receivers. So Millz back in his standard send 6 look. It looks like he did send 6, and the run gets blown up. So Mac loses 3, tries to run buck sweep. Interesting play call there. So 2nd and 12, Mac back in gun bunch. Millz still in his nickel. Mac flips it. And once again, Millz bringing up his safeties, as you see, into the box.
I don't know how long.
It's tough to do.
Mac motions over to make it a 2x2 look. And the 6 gets there. So as you see right here, actually what I would have liked to see Mac do here is since he motioned over that receiver, what I would have liked to see him do, since Millz sends 6 more times than not, as you see, this is the corner, this is the linebacker, he's got 4 linemen engaged, so he's sending 6, he's in the nickel blitz, so you got soft squat, deep half, soft squat, and Millz is usering right here. This is Millz user. So, you can't, Mac blocked 6, Millz still got 1 free. What I would have liked to see him do here is, I like the drag from the RB receiver, but instead of this in route right here, as you can see, Allen Robinson's already breaking inside on this in route. I would have liked to see him streak Allen Robinson up the seam and throw an inside pass lead to Allen Robinson. So it would have forced Millz. It would have had to have been a really quick read, but you would have had to force Millz, whichever one he jumps to. If he sits on the drag, you throw the streak, and then the only way Millz is going to guard the streak in this situation is if at the snap of the ball, Millz instantly takes off running to the seam, which if he does that, it's easy. You just throw the drag. So that's what I would have liked to see Mac do right there. Mac went with a little longer. Obviously, you see right there the in route was open. He just wasn't able to get it open. So he went with the longer developing route combination, and Millz sending 6 ended up paying off. So in theory, good for Mac. He blocked 6, Millz sent 6, but with that nickel blitz, how random it is, I guess, to pick it up, you can't really count on blocking 6 and you're going to pick it up. So Mac comes out, gun snugs flipped, first time all game. Millz still in his send 6. Mac looks like he goes for a swerve right there, and Millz picks it off with Harrison Smith. So 3rd and 22, Mac didn't have too many options. He probably knew Millz was going to send the house, so he went for the swerve. Millz picked it off. So good play by Millz. I don't know how many other options Mac really had other than, checking it down and playing the field position game. So Millz goes inside zone, first down. See, Mac now in this, as you see on the bottom left, Mac now in this 3-4 even, or 3-4 odd rather. It's not 3-4 even, it's 3-4 odd, cover 4. So Mac's been in that ever since Millz started running 0-1 trap down his throat. So Millz needs to recognize this, No, Mac's playing primarily run D and start exploiting the fact that he's in a 3-4 against, 4 receivers, and, he's being predictable in his coverage shell. He's running cover 4. So he needs to start dotting him up right here. And that's exactly what he does right there. Over the middle, Anunwa. So that's a really tough route combo because you got the drag and the C route on the left side, and then you've got the delayed slant coming back across the middle. It's going to be really hard to stop out of that cover 4. So right there, it looks like Mac went back to the nickel and Millz went back to the 0-1 trap. So really hard to stop Millz' offense here. 0-1 trap, Mac makes it actually a really good user play right there by delaying the block. So Millz flips his play to get his running back to the left side. And he looks like he runs bench there, and that, oh man, okay. Well, that was very unlucky. Obviously, that's Madden for you right there. Like, if you could sum up this year's Madden, that's Madden. But let's not ignore the fact that Millz actually had 2 wide open receivers that he could have picked a throw to and pick up the first down. And he actually made a questionable read throwing that corner route into what was probably a cloud flat. And Mac's corner just like didn't react. Number 8 right there just did not react at all. Millz gets shafted. So Millz makes a bad read. The AI doesn't react, and then Millz gets shafted. So just a really weird play right there. But yeah, he had 2 guys he could have hit for the first down. So Mac goes back. HP draw. Should probably just take this to halftime, honestly. Throws a flat route. I wouldn't feel comfortable. No timeouts at your own 13. With the way Millz plays defense, you get hit as you throw. Next thing you know, it's a scoop and score for 6. So yeah, Mac's just gonna run the clock out here. So that's the first half. Really good first half. Really interesting to see how Millz plays offense in the second half with the way Mac's been switching up between that nickel and 3-4. So second half here, Mac gets ball, strong pro, power O, first play. Millz still in that nickel even when Mac comes out in a 2 running back set. So that's interesting. Picks up 2. You really need to rely on block sheds to stop a power run out of that nickel. So I guess he feels comfortable doing that right there. Tight doubles, runs HP dive, picks up 6. So Mac looking like he really wants to control the clock in the second half here. Comes out 2 straight runs that he didn't run at all in the first half. So Mac here goes back, gun bunch, nice read, nice quick read right there. So Millz sends 3 off the right, and it actually gets in. Millz actually, okay, so that's what happened. I was wondering. So Millz has been doing this thing all tournament where he'll click on. As you can see, he now has control of this corner. So what he'll do is if that blitz gets in, he'll click on and dive at the quarterback to get even quicker pressure. And that's what he tried to do right there. And he was usering this guy before. So if he had stayed on his user, he could have just went to this A receiver. This corner's going to get here no matter what. I mean, clicking on and diving, that's a preference thing. I mean, in some cases it could help, in some cases it could hurt. I guess he thinks the benefits outweigh the negatives. So he went for that. If he had stayed on, he could have used this hitch route, and Mac really had no place to go because his read would have been this X route right here, running the C route at the corner. But he wouldn't have had time to let that develop. So Mac would have actually been in no man's land. Couldn't have made any reads. But Millz tried to click on, so he took away his user, and Mac was able to squeeze in that hitch route that Anthony Barr didn't get over by himself. So that hurts for Millz right there. But, I mean, that was his decision to click on. Mac goes strong pro and hits a dot on the sideline. That's interesting. So he went play fake. Maybe he was expecting a run commit there, but he's still able to get it. So Mac comes back out, strong pro, flip to the left. Millz still in nickel normal. And from right here, for Millz doing this, just going to point this out, Millz bringing the safety out here, I feel like that gives Mac a free heads up, hey, Millz is probably blitzing like these 2 guys off the edge right here. There's no other reason for you to drag that safety out there if you didn't want him to defend against a quick throw, like out there. And if this corner right here isn't blitzing, then why are you worried about him defending against a quick throw? So that's just a little tell that Millz kind of gave Mac, that Mac could potentially use against him. Right here, obviously Mac didn't care about that because he was running the ball anyway. but just something for Mac to keep in mind. So it comes out shotgun, twin tight end to the right. Looks like HB base maybe. So yeah, picks up 2. 3rd and 8. As you can see, Mac really wants to run the ball, coming out, running a variety of run plays. Millz, 3rd and 8, comes out that nickel blitz too, brings up the safeties into the box. Literally looks like a 4-3 almost right now. Mac and Gunsnugs flip. Millz sends the house. Mac hits the out route on bench and picks up the 1st down. So that's the tough thing about sending the house out of that formation against compressed sets is if they do have time, if you don't play hard flats, they'll hit those out routes all day out of bench. So gun HP Power O right there. Gun 2 back HP Power O. Picks up 5. It's usually a pretty good run against this nickel look with the bench line. You might run it again here actually. Runs HP draw this time and has a ton of room. Picks up 8. Smartly gets down to not get hit sticked and potentially fumble. Smart play right there for Mac. Runs a draw again. Millz almost gets the block shed, but Mac, good run stick, picks up 9 behind it. So Mac really running the ball down his throat. Goes for the QB sneak on 2nd and 2. Questionable decision. 3rd and 2. Granted, Millz is in nickel right now against a goal line look. Just run Power O. If I'm Mac, I'm running Power O right now. And Millz ran commit, and he did what I said, but Millz with the run commit locked it up. So I would have gotten locked up as well. But so that was smart by Millz. You know, I mean, I wouldn't have thought that Mac would pass it either. So good call on him to run commit. Millz knew he was in a QB sneak, so he knows Mac, there's no way Mac can run a HB toss there, so run committing middle is pretty low risk. If he's confident Mac's not going to pass the football. So Mac kicks the field goal, takes a 7-point lead. Mac took almost the entire 3rd quarter on that drive, though. So really good drive from Mac right there, controlling the clock. Came out with a variety of run plays. Millz goes back to his 0-1 trap, picks up 3. Millz still has plenty of time. 1-score game. He can take all the time he wants on this drive. Run 0-1 trap all the times he wants. So Mac sticking to this nickel normal. Millz goes inside zone, gets chased down by Khalil Mack. Picks up 2. So 4th quarter here, 3rd and 5, big play. Mac still in that nickel normal. Sends 3 off the left, and Millz makes a, oh man, okay. So good play by Mac right here. I'm not sure who Millz would have had open. I think he needed to be more patient, possibly go for a playmaker. Just looking at it, you know, this guy, he ran PA seam, so this guy's running a corner route, so he's not going to be open. Mac looks like he's using this. He might have been able to squeeze this in with a high point, but that's a sketchy throw. Maybe you're not willing to make this late in the game. Right here, this guy's running that, you know, kind of wheelish route up the sideline, but it looks like he's going to be covered. So, and then he's got the slant right here. So I think what Millz needed to do was kind of stay in the pocket. You got the blitz picked up, so you can stay in the pocket, maybe just slide right a little bit and go for a playmaker and see what can happen. Millz kind of rushes his throw, though. Mac actually peels off, good user, and Millz still catches it. Granted, because that was a defensive tackle playing in a QB spy right there. So, sketchy throw right there. 4th and inches. So, huge play right here. If Mac stops him, it's not game. He has been running the ball pretty well, and he's pretty much in field goal range. Just a few more yards, so it would be really hard for Millz to come back if Mac got to stop here. So Mac sends 6, the Millz special, and Millz hits McCoy out the backfield. So Mac tries to run Millz' defense against him, and it looked like Millz got an insane animation here. Yeah, watch LaShawn McCoy run this out route. I've never seen that before, but he ran like a speed out of the backfield, and that's not a dragon route. That's just an out route. He just got a really quick cut. Granted, he would have been open either way. That's just very interesting. But good read by Millz. Mac sends 6. Mac sends 6, and he had to user the middle. As you can see in the replay here, you can look at Mac's user guy right here. But Mac's first thing since he sent 6, he had to cover any anything quick over the middle. So he had to lurk the middle for any like slants or drags or whatever might be coming, instantly out of these tight formations. So because of that, he kind of like looped around and was kind of sharking around for anything over the middle. But then Millz was able to hit this guy out the backfield because it looked like Mac might have manned up the flat zone out there that's normally out there out of nickel 2. So great read by Millz. Risky defense by Mac, doesn't pay off. So Millz goes back to 0-1 trap. Mac sends 3. Millz running Z spot again. Drops a little far back, but still hits Brandon Cooks there, and that's why that route's so tough. I mean, look at it. You got Mac out here. If you look at Mac's defense, I mean, this is theoretically, this is the way to stop this play. But you got hard flat and cloud flat. So you'd think hard flat, is going to guard, you got this drag coming across. So you think this hard flat's going to swoop down on that, clamp that down, and then you think this cloud flat's going to drop back against, this C route over here that's going to run and then break to the corner. But the game's AI just does not adapt to it, and the cloud flat plays way too far up. You can actually see right there the cloud flat jumps, and you got 2 guys playing the drag now, and now this C route's just naked. Millz dropped really far back, made it a really tough throw, but that's going to be open almost every single time. You almost have to use that or get pressure. It's pretty difficult. Right there, Millz goes play fake on 1st and 10, so really interesting mix-up right there. Or not interesting, but nice mix-up. Millz had almost always been running the ball on 1st down, so goes to the flat right there. And then 2nd down, Millz goes bench. Mac's actually in the perfect defense. As you see, he's got soft squat, hard flat on the left side. And then Millz actually missed the read. The read would have been this out route. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. But the read was this out route. Mac kind of got stuck in no man's land defending nobody because he was probably looking for something over the middle. But since Millz just quick snap bench, everything's to the sidelines. But as you see, he's got hard flat, soft squat on the left side. And then it looks like just a soft squat or a cloud flat on the right. But Millz probably read the left side of the field first, saw nothing was open, then he might have looked to the right, and by the time he looked right, it might have been too late. So he ends up having to throw that ball away. Good defense by Mac. Very impressive to set that up that quickly off of a no huddle. Really good game knowledge right there. So Millz goes play fake, hits the seam, and it gets stripped out at the 1, and Mac grabs it. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So Mac sends 4 here. Millz actually had, well, it's interesting because I would have been tempted to throw this B receiver. Millz had hit this B receiver several times in the game because Mac will do this. He'll send this guy off the edge and he won't have a flat zone out there. So this receiver gets naked. Maybe Millz knew that, and maybe Millz knew that because he had hit that receiver several times, he knew that when Mac saw the play fake, he would run out there instantly. And so it was like a mind game to the mind game. Millz knew, even though it looks like Mac is covering the seam route right here, Millz knew that he was going to cover the seam and just run to the B receiver. And so Millz knew this, was a little patient, and threw this A route right there. And he also had the underneath crossing route right there, as you can see. But beautiful read, and that's Madden for you. You kind of get stroked. Mac clicks on, presses RB, and gets a turnover. So that's something. It's a part of football. Fumbles, unfortunately, it'll pretty much always be random in Madden. Unfortunately, competitive Madden, usually one guy will catch a fumble, one guy won't. So that's just kind of the way it goes. Very unfortunate for him. So Mac comes out, gun spread, runs 4 verts. Golly, that was dangerous. Okay. Not sure what the rationale there was. There's no way Millz is run committing if you're out in gun spread. So just try to quick throw 4 verticals, and it did not work out. Almost got picked off. Mac comes back out in his normal gun bunch. Probably a safer bet here. The motion out, blocks 7, goes for the swerve and gets picked off. Okay. So he kind of tried to force the swerve, block 7 there. It's actually a good defense to swerve because it is a cover 3 look, which is normally what gets swerved. Millz does a good job of clicking on though, and it might have been a slight overthrow from Mac's QB. So Millz gets the ball right back after getting, you know, kind of unlucky on that fumble beforehand. So Millz goes with the 0-1 trap and almost breaks it. Mac almost gets another strip. So Millz back to the 0-1 trap, gets locked up that time. 16 carries for 77 for McCoy. So as you see, that 0-1 trap really been pretty successful this game against this type of defense Mac's running. So Millz running Z spot right here and tries to throw a seam, high point seam into traffic, and just doesn't come down with it. So 3rd and 11, big play here. Millz goes, playmaker, oh lord. Oh, he caught it, okay. All right, so right here, this is crazy. This is Mac's defense. He's rushing 5.
Boy.
It really had nothing. He had everything locked up. Millz ran this PA seams with, it looks like he just has a slant coming underneath, which Mac was doing a good job of using. He's got a seam route and then another seam route. I would have liked to see Mac, like, quick throw this maybe, this B route right here. That might have been the read. But Mac actually does a good job. Users the slant. Millz playmakers it up. See, Mac gets aggressive here and users underneath. Probably this wouldn't be a good play elsewhere on the field, but knowing that he's at the 18 and that Millz doesn't have a lot of field to work with past him, he's not scared of Millz playmakering the receiver upfield like he normally would. Millz does it anyway, lobs it anyway into double coverage, and Quincy Enunwa comes down with it. So, you know, that's a tough break for Mac. Granted, Millz just caught a tough break earlier where he fumbled at the 1, so I guess redemption right there, but not an advised read, I would say, in most scenarios there. So Mac comes back out, looks to just want to run the ball. He's been having success running the ball in the second half. He hasn't touched the ball since the 3rd quarter, though. Or granted, well, other than he had the ball for a couple plays and then threw the pick at his own 1 or whatever. But so Mac comes out, runs the ball. All he needs is a field goal to win it. A little over 2 minutes. PA post here. Goes play fake. Millz sends the pressure, and Mac goes back to that drag route. Remember, on the first drive of the game, Millz was having a lot of trouble picking up that drag route coming from left to right. Mac hit that big gain up the sideline to Stephon Diggs and then hit another one later in the drive for about 15, 20 yards. So you might be remembering that, going back to that. Since Millz likes to send 6, doesn't always have a flat zone out there. Because sometimes if he leaves soft squats out there, the soft squat will convert to man-to-man, and so you won't get a flat zone. So there's nobody to pick up that drag. Mac going to HB draws here, which I don't think is the move against Millz' aggressive defense. Maybe he's getting a little tentative here. You know, you need 25 yards or whatever to pretty much win the game. So maybe the nerves are getting to him. Going with some safe play calls, but gun 2 back. 3rd and 4. It'd be surprising if he threw the ball, since he hasn't thrown the ball at all this game from this set, and he goes power O and gets 4, but I don't think he got it. I think that's 4th and inches. Yep, 4th and 1. So Mac, 1 minute left, 4th and 1. Gun snugs, Millz, nickel normal, and he goes HP base and picks it up. Wow, what a play call. So he started out in gun bunch and audible to quick base out of gun snug, something that he hasn't run all game, something that I'm sure Millz was not expecting. Honestly, if your opponent, and if I were Millz right there, if my opponent went from bunch to gun snugs, I would think he was going to quick snap bench. Right there, Mac went with the HB draw. Millz ran commit, and Mac still almost squeezed through. But yeah, if the audible's from gun bunch to snugs, I feel like you got to think he's going to quick snap bench, and that's what I would have been prepared for. I definitely would have been prepared for the quick base. So great call by Mac right there, in my opinion.
That's the chance
So
to
third and
lock up
3,
the
once
lead
again,
run.
Mac in a third down situation, got to convert, needs about salary, or no, this isn't salary cap, this is draft champ, so you probably need about 10 to 12 yards to feel comfortable kicking a field goal with the kickers they give you in draft champs. So Mac goes once again with this 2x2 motion. So what he's been doing, if you remember, when he uses this motion, he'll put Fitzgerald on an in route, and he'll have this flat route. He runs corner strike, so he'll have this will be his route combo. Um, and I think he might streak one of these guys, have like an out router. I'm not exactly sure what he does on the right, but on the left side, this is what he likes to do. Actually, I think he might like drag the tight end in this case. So that's something he's gone to a couple times before. Let's see if Millz picks up on it. And actually, he doesn't even run that this time. So as you can see, he actually blocks the halfback. Fitzgerald's going on an out route. He's also got the tight end on an out route. So Mac went with a bench type of concept on the right side with an out in the corner, which is it looks like Mac could have thrown this RB route, and then he went with an out route and a fade on the outside. It looks like he's going to try and throw this X route open. And it's a dot.
Has it, and a nice play by the safety.
And that'll pretty much seal the game. So great route right there from Mac. Probably, obviously, you think right here Millz is going to go with that nickel too, so that's exactly what Millz does. Sends 6, got nickel blitz. Mac goes. It looks like Millz might have played a hard flat on this side because this guy is cutting out and this corner instantly just bit down on it. And so that leaves Mac, or Allen Robinson rather, wide open on this sideline. He's on a fade. All Mac has to do is throw an outside pass lead bullet, and it's in field goal range. So dot, and I'm pretty sure Mac just kicked the field goal and wins it. Make sure. Well, yeah, obviously, since the the championship is Mac versus Skimbo, so obviously Mac ends up making this. Yeah, he makes it and moves on to the championship. So that was a great game, really fun game to watch and break down all the different nuances and adjustments that went down in that game. So I think the next game I'm going to do will be the other semi, which is Skimbo versus True Boy. So if you'd be interested in that, check that out. That'll be coming out soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, guys, take it easy.